this. I think it's. I think it's good now.
Oh yeah, that's cool.
That's cool. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
This is
Let me get my earbuds though too.
okay. I'll wait until you, and then we can.
Yeah, just to make sure.
So I don't know if you want to wait until like they have like we have more viewers or.
Yeah, huh?
Yeah.
Like
Let
maybe
me.
like 20 minutes or something, or
Yeah.
just see what happens.
Yeah. See what happens.
Okay, I'm gonna listen in to you on the stream. Be right back.
Okay. Oh, that's. Okay. I want. Can I sign? Oh, like what about Silent Quest? Oh, that's silence too.
Okay, you can turn up your vocals a little bit.
My vocals.
Yeah.
Okay. Trying that now.
Okay.
Do 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 do. I don't know what to say. Blah 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 blah.
It's perfect.
Okay, didn't know what to say or do. I'm like, just like blah 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 blah.
That was hilarious.
I couldn't think. I'm like, oh, I'll just say this and yeah, 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 yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
la 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 la.
La 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 la. Oh my god. Okay, should I
Oh
save it?
dear.
Okay, I'll save it because I. Oh wait, let me. I have to think of what I was trying to do here. Apparently, I'm so old. I am getting forgetful. So maybe this Friday I will be doing a Final Fantasy run. Maybe, maybe,
Yeah,
maybe.
it's very possible.
Who knows? Who knows?
Yeah.
Okay, hold it. No, it's no point of going down. I got an itchy nose.
Well, they're starting. The
The
itchies
itchies are start on. Move, move,
and the
move.
sneezies.
Oh yeah, the sneezies and everything. Okay,
Oh,
wait.
shut up, phone. Gotta mute this.
Oh my god, your phone is talking back at you. Put it in its
It's totally
corner.
me.
Put it in
Gotta put it in
its.
its place. Show it who's boss. Damn it.
Yeah, yeah. You tell it. Okay, I was going for that one thing on Titus, and then I was gonna swing down.
Like leave a lock or something in place so you remember
Yeah,
where
like
to.
I was gonna leave this to like level 2 thing, because I was going up here to get the hay
Yeah.
stuff. But then
Yes.
I wanna know. Okay, it was Komari who.
Yeah, is he close
Where?
to bio?
Yeah, where's bio? Is this bio? Yeah, right there. So once I go, like, because I just did this part, so now I can go down, back, like, do this, do that. Yeah, so he's close to bio.
Cool.
Yeah. So now I can, if no one comes, then I guess we're just gonna ramble and talk about
That's cool. Whatever, you know.
whatever. Like, I don't know, like what these people want.
I know.
Anyways.
What do the people want?
What do you guys want from me? Okay,
Whoa.
hold on. I'm gonna do. But see, the only problem with the Silent Buster, it takes 10.
Hmm.
I mean, it's fine, but
Yeah,
but
a little bit more expensive.
overkill. Like, look at him. See, like they totally so far they totally could do over 1,000 damage. Take 1,000 damage. Totally could do that, right?
Yes.
But like I said, they did not have um. And Leonard was saying I should do like if Titus's overdrive is up, I should do the slice and dice one on Seymour. Like
Oh,
you know
really?
how like yeah
Okay.
like okay so in the third phase like you know do the slice and dice.
That would, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
That'd be cool.
especially like if he has the thing. So yeah, so we don't know. We do
And I
not
want,
know.
I'm still curious about that Blitz Ace.
I
It's
don't know.
crazy.
I don't know.
I know.
I think this was a better idea than, to be honest, than Stardew. Oh my
Because I'm
god.
getting a head start now, since I can't play with you this month
Yeah.
in Stardew.
Yeah.
Might as well knock this out.
Oh my god. So Oren is confused. Get on confused. How dare you be confused?
Dazed and confused. That's a good movie.
Yes, yes. I don't know about the second one, but I know the first one.
Forgot they made a second one. Always cracks me up when they do that. Like when they made a sequel to Dumb and Dumber, I was like, no, just.
I couldn't even watch Dumb and Dumber. Like the I don't know, the stupidity level was just too much for
It's
me.
just too little, too high.
Hey Candy, how are you? We
It's
we have
Candyman.
we haven't started really talking about the books yet. So what what we were thinking of doing is um talking about books that we also have read um in the month. I had to think what the hell I was trying to say here. Oh wow, and okay. So I've read a couple books, and the books I have read are altogether. I read 1, 2, 3, 4. I have to actually count. I was yeah. We
You
just
know what?
started. We just started, so like you didn't miss any.
Get your nap on. That's all good.
Yeah. We
I gotta
didn't
actually check.
we didn't we haven't talked about any book thing, to be honest. Wait, is that guy not Silence?
I look through my stuff and make sure I didn't. Yeah, I think I just read 2 books in this last period since we started, but let me make sure. Oh, yeah. Okay, 3.
Three?
Glad I
Okay.
looked.
You like
Yeah.
three? Okay, so the
Yeah.
books I have read is oh, okay. Do you want me to wait? I guess
Oh,
I'll wait then if he's coming into chat.
okay, yeah.
Yeah. See ya. See ya. See ya. See ya. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Is it bad that I cannot just look and say, "Oh, I read 4 books"? I actually had to go 1, 2, 3, 4.
I had to do
I
the
I
same.
literally had to like
Mm.
physically like I had to physically like count.
It's like, yeah, what is going on here? How many is this? I don't know.
I
where,
don't
where are my fingers?
I don't
I
know
need my
how to
fingers.
count apparently. Okay. Mari.
Hello?
Hello?
Hey.
Andrew.
What's up?
Hey, how are you? Okay, hold on. Let me.
Good.
Yo.
What's up, guys?
I seem to hear you. So, yeah. So
Yeah,
we.
I'm just over here sweating, dying over here in the heat.
Oh no, no melting, no melting.
No melting.
No
No melting allowed.
Yeah, no melting, no melting, none, none. Oh wait, Waka? Oh, I don't think it'll matter. You won't get a cat saw. I figured I would farm on Final Fantasy because Stardew no one can play it right now. So I figured if I'm gonna be playing by myself, I might as well farm.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, hopefully I
Yeah,
should be able to play
had
with
it
Stardew next
downloaded.
month.
Yeah, so that's why I'm playing
Oh,
this
you
one.
have. Oh, okay. You had problems playing it.
Well, for me,
Yeah, on.
oh, who are you talking to?
Oh,
Oh, Cecil. No?
Oh, okay, okay. Then I won't
Okay,
answer.
you guys can
yeah,
you guys can fill me in.
yeah, yeah. I had like a because I'm on my laptop is on Linux, and I had some compatibility problems with it, and I was like trying to
Oh.
figure it out, and I kind of figured it out, but it's so late notice. I'm just gonna have it set up and ready for next month instead.
To be honest,
So.
Oh, okay.
Candy, he forgot to get it set up. If you want honesty, he forgot. Like honesty here, he forgot. He forgot.
Yeah, there were like
It's okay.
a good week where I was like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah, he was like, "Oh, I was supposed to
Stardew.
do- Oh,
Oh,
oh." And
Stardew. Oh yeah, I remember that. Oh, okay.
yeah, yeah, that's basically what it was because I mentioned it, and he's like, "Oh, oh, oh,
I
my
was a little
bad,
behind.
my
Just a
bad."
little bit behind.
Okay, so what we
Well,
figured,
that's cool.
we would also do like is if you do read other books or even like magazines or whatever, that we would also
Audiobooks.
yeah, we would also mention it before we get into the book.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so I mean, it could be
Yeah,
whatever.
that sounds good.
Yeah, even if you're not finished, because Cecil hasn't finished one of his things.
Two now. I
Yeah.
found two that I.
So the books I have read, one is a choose your own adventure.
I'm so jelly. I want one.
It's the Chinese dragon one. I'm not even gonna try to do you even want me to try to pronounce the names? I suck at the name.
Right, and then I can
Yeah.
look it up and see.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
please.
the name is by R.A. Montgomery. Montgomery.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's takes place in China. So, and then of
Is
course
it like modern day China? or-
no historical.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's like had to do with the Mongolians and how they
Oh.
like yeah, so it starts off like you are now living with your uncle because your parents have passed away and due to like some sort of disease and like you have like phantom and the general is going to sacrifice a white horse and your choices
Ooh.
start off, do you just go into the field and do your planting like
That sounds so cool.
or do you go off and see the what is it called, the sacrifice? So that's
Well, I think those books are pretty cool. You know, like when you're. I remember when I was a kid, I used to read a lot of those. Choose your
Same
adventure
here.
books.
yeah, I actually found a couple more. Like this one I actually bought at the like bookstore because I was like, "Oh my god, I remember these." And then I was looking through some of my old books and boxes and I found some of my older ones. So,
Awesome.
yeah.
I had some like Nintendo Choose Your Own Adventure books. I had like 3 or 4 of them. They were so much fun. I kept dying in them though, but I think I almost finished one. Yeah, I finished a couple, but they had like, a lot of choices, a lot of pathways. They're like so they're I get a lot. I have a lot of fun with those. They have some like role-playing game styled ones too. I gotta look up the author. I think they were Fighting Fantasy. Have you heard of that? Either of you?
Oh, okay. Okay, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was curious about those too.
Yeah. But yeah,
I
like
know they had some apps like that too. I was playing one of them. I can't remember what it was called a while back, but it was an app on your phone, and you can do that. And
Oh, that's
uh,
cool. Oh, was
you
it one of
earn
those like
coins and
was it
stuff.
called chapters or something or
Yeah, it seems like it's like a choose your adventure, and you
I
get to
think I
choose like
play I
the
think I
fantasy
used that app
character.
before.
oh.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember what it was. Quick
Choices?
find it.
Oh, I
Choose your
swear I remember it.
Man, I can't remember what it was called. I did one of them. They're just like the interactive role playing, you know.
Yeah.
It's like reading a book, you know, because you don't really move or anything. You
They
just
were pretty much visual novels.
yeah.
Right? Yeah.
Hmm.
Oh, that's cool. But for
Yeah,
this
I have
one, I actually did all of the stories. So I did all the
Oh,
endings.
nice.
Yeah, some of them were like, "Oh, okay, okay," and then some were like, "Oh." But sometimes I find that maybe it's just because I'm a little older now. My attention span is a little bit better than what
Hmm.
it was. But I thought like some of the storylines could have been longer.
Okay, I found what it was. It's called D&D style RPG Choices Games
Oh.
by something called Delight
Nice.
Games. Yeah, and it's like a RPG, you know, where you just make choices. Well, pretty much like a choose your adventure type of thing. And sometimes when I was just like going places and I just be, you know, doing stuff like that. Those are
Oh.
pretty cool. It's like
Yeah.
reading a book, but it's like cartoonish a
Like
little bit.
yeah, right. If you like those, Candy, check out this app called Choices, and there's another one called Episode Choose Your Story. Those are like similar.
Yeah, because like
I think the one I did was
there were
Choices.
yeah, there was choices that you could choose. Like you can like fight, you know, you could flee, you know, you could try to haggle with the person, or you know, plead for your life or whatnot, what depending on the situation.
Oh yeah, that sounds like Fighting Fantasy a little bit.
Yeah, it was. It's pretty cool, and there's a whole bunch of different adventures. I think there's like the mage adventure, then there's the bard adventure, and uh, rogue adventure, sorcerer adventure. You know, like the different classes.
That sounds
So
cool.
it's like reading, but I mean it is reading, but in a different way.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I'm jelly. I'm jelly. Okay,
Right?
so
Sounds cool.
my next book that I read was Resident Evil Volume 1: The Umbrella Conspiracy by S.D. Perry.
It's been my shelf on Goodreads.
So it does have like, you know, you go to the like this is for like the first Resident Evil. So you do go off there, but you kind of start off like with you're actually in the like office of stars,
Oh.
and that's fine and everything like that, but when you go into the thing, now you have like Jill, you have, you know, like all those people. But I don't remember, and maybe it's because I played Jill in the first one. But when you play Chris, does he have like a person kind of like I know he does in one of them, but not. I don't remember him having a person follow him in the game called Rebecca.
Oh yeah, yeah. I think.
He shows
Um,
up in there
yeah,
in the
Rebecca's in
first
there.
game.
Yeah, does she show up? Like, is she actually like somebody that like is with him?
Not the whole
Yeah.
time. He
Oh,
runs into her at
oh,
multiple points in that game.
oh. Okay,
But
see,
yes, yeah.
because I was like, I don't remember this Rebecca person, right? Like, I was just like,
Ah,
who's Rebecca? Like, I don't know who this Rebecca person is. All right, and I was like, well, I never played, um, like hit, like his like um, what's his name, Chris?
Chris,
Chris, yeah,
his storyline, right? Yeah,
yeah.
you never played his.
I never played his storyline. So I was like, who's this Rebecca person, right? Like, kind of thing. But
Yeah,
she didn't, they didn't make, like, in the book, they didn't make her like a ditzy, like, oh no, like, like, save me kind of
right.
complex. Like, which was nice. Like, she was young. She was like, a
Yeah.
scientist and stuff like that. So, in that sense, it was really neat. But I was like, I don't remember her at all.
So yes, if you play as Jill, I don't think you even see her.
No,
As a matter of fact, maybe
I don't.
yeah, maybe in the endings, yeah.
Yeah, and
But
but the ending
I remember she was really annoying in in there because
in the
in
in the
the
game.
in the
Yeah.
game. Oh yeah. See, I don't know, right? Because I never played Chris, but the ending is a little different too.
Oh, okay.
I don't want to give it away because for obvious reasons. If you're gonna read it, like it's not gonna be fair, to tell you what happens. But yeah, I was like, but all through the book, whenever like they mention like when they go back to Chris and Rebecca, I was like, who is this person? Like, I don't remember her at all. I'm like, I'm a horrible person. Like, I don't
She wasn't
remember.
even there.
Yeah,
If you didn't play as Chris, you don't. Yeah.
yeah. So I was like, oh, maybe. Yeah. But it was actually a good read. I have all of them, or at least I don't know if it's every single one of them, but I do have a lot of the Resident Evil um, books. And
That sounds really cool.
yeah, it is. I think I might read another one, but I also want to save at least one for like Halloween, like spooky.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Mm-hmm.
that's gonna be my oh one thing. The other one I read was Corpse Party Blood Covered, number 3. Now these ones are like the thicker volume ones, so like they probably have a couple of like maybe 2 books or something like that put into one. Um, it gives you a little bit more insight into some of the like I guess story kind of thing. But if you played the game, you know basically what happens,
Ah,
right?
okay.
Kind of thing. But there's supposed to be an ending, and I don't know if it's true, if it was just somebody like lying to me. But somebody said that there was an ending where even if the people have died or something, I guess the choices you make when you finish the game, they all are alive. Like you go back and they're all alive.
Oh, what? Really?
Yeah. And I'm
Somebody
like,
had a
Huh.
revive spell.
huh, pardon?
Somebody had a revive spell.
Yeah, yeah, apparently,
I
yeah.
know.
But I don't know. I don't know how true it is. But it is good. Like certain things, like I mean, like they only have like a short. Certain scenes, like in the game, are a little different because they could go into like a little bit more detail, you know,
Mhm.
in the thing. But so far, nothing is really that much of a difference if you played the game.
Literally, yeah, I know. Usually they'll, because like with the Resident Evil book, for example, sounds like they expanded on Rebecca, gave her more of a role, changed the
Yeah,
ending a little bit, and probably some other stuff.
yeah, like in the Rebecca one, like like Chris goes, he leaves her, but then comes back. They move to a different location. She finds out information, explains it. Like, um, I don't want to give out too much like information of what else she does because I don't know how it is in the game. But I was just like, I don't remember this person at all.
Ah,
And maybe it's because I haven't watched somebody play Chris's story in such a long time that I forgot
yeah.
because I was just I don't know. Like I don't remember.
But yeah, I gotta go back to those because I did play through um, Chris's playthrough in 1, 2, and yeah, the remakes.
Oh
I
yeah.
just didn't. I hadn't played as the other.
Yeah, I did the
Well, the first one
girl
comes out Jill, I think. I think the first one's just Jill at
Jill.
first. I'm not sure.
The first one
Yeah.
is Jill, but you could play it with Chris, like, as Chris, right? Those are your two options.
Yeah, you can
I
pick
play,
who you want.
I picked Jill, and then I picked what was the girl's name? Claire. In the second one.
Right.
So you pick
Yeah,
between
second one was like Claire and Leon.
Leon and
Mhm.
and Claire. And I played Claire's um story. But
Yeah, those are really good games too. I gotta get back to playing those. I only played through them like one time since the remake had came out, and that was it.
see,
I seen somebody else playing it, and I was like, "Oh, they have that much in it? There's another. There's more."
yeah,
I
well,
know, and they're so replayable.
Yeah, that's the thing that tripped me out. Is there's so many different like things that were attached to even the remakes, like other people
Yeah.
that I'd never even heard of. So I'm not real in depth in it because I'm not like a horror guy. But I did enjoy it though, and I have them. I have all the Resident Evils. I just got to play them a little bit more and get more into it.
yeah, like for
And a lot of people didn't like. Oh, sorry.
no, that's okay. Go, it's fine.
I know for a lot of people that they didn't like how Resident Evil 5 and 6 kind of dropped the horror, kind of just became more like an action game. But I love those games.
I
They
like
were so much
6.
fun.
6 was my
Yeah,
first
see?
one. Like that was like the first
Oh, that's
one
your.
I played.
Oh,
That was my first one, and
how
then
cool.
I played with Derek, and then we played 5. I didn't really care for 5. I think it's because I got to like in 6 you got to like physically like punch him and stuff like that, and I really liked that part. Um, then I played 5, and then I played 1 because that was Derek's pick for the birthday, and then I played 2 for the birthday, and he picked the person. He let me pick for 1 who I wanted to play, and then he picked Claire run for number 2. But I haven't played.
Nice.
I haven't played like any other. Yeah. So I'm not gonna talk about the Senju one because that's the one that we read. So what have you guys read or are reading or what?
Have you read anything else lately?
Me, not. I haven't actually read much of anything. I've just been doing like YouTube stuff.
Oh, right
doing
on, right on.
a bunch of YouTube stuff. I haven't really read much of anything, really, to be honest. The only other stuff that I do read is just like some practices and stuff like that involving like meditation and things of that sort. So that's the stuff that I normally
Cool though.
have normally read
Hey,
on
Leonard. Sorry.
my own like basis and stuff.
I'm
Leonard,
okay.
what's going on?
Okay, so Leonard, the person that said, "Hey, Leonard," that's Cecil, and then the other person is actually Candy too. We have two candies.
Somebody
And
can.
I still gotta message you, Leonard, about Lulu. I totally forgot. Been so busy, but that is definitely still something I need to inquire about.
Leonard, hi.
Yeah, so Leonard,
Yes.
Leonard did a Kamari only run.
That's insane.
He's also the one that like splits Blitzball. No comment. How much I hate Blitzball.
Well, I have dabbled in the dark side a little bit, Leonard. So it would be very
I know. Yeah,
interesting.
you guys are both candy.
yeah.
That's so candy battle.
Candy. Are you guys gonna throw candy at each other?
Oh, we could do that.
Yeah, throw candy.
Next- We'll just throw candy at each other, and whoever
Bro,
passes
speaking of
out from
candy.
sugary diabetes wins.
Yes. Dude, speaking of candy for Halloween, I should totally play through Costume Quest. It's like an RPG, but you play as kids trick-or-treating.
Ooh.
It's so good. That game is so great.
So Leonard, I don't know if you were here on the books I've read. So I'll just give you the names of the books I read, and then, the Candy and Cecil can go.
Cool.
So I read Chinese Dragons by, R.A. Monty. Oh my god.
Montgomery.
Thank you. then I read Resident Evil: The Umbrella Conspiracy, Volume 1 of S.D. Perry. And, I didn't even say who the author was for the Corpse Party. Blood Covered was, Makoto Kendun. I don't even know if I said her name or his name right. So those were the ones I read, plus the book of the month. But we're not talking about that right now. But now
Nice.
Candy says he didn't read anything.
Yeah, I've been having a hard time keeping up with books. I'm trying to make more time, so I'll be
It
able to
happens,
read.
man.
But,
It happens, dude. It's just like there'll be those times throughout the year or whatever where we're just like, I just can't focus on it, right? You know what I mean? It's just so much. But well, for me, it'll be short for me because I haven't finished the other books I'm reading, but I could at least talk about them real briefly. One book I started a little while ago was The Dirt, and oh wait, let me get the author name.
Like dirt, like dirt, like spelt like dirt.
Yeah, Dirt.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
it's
I
called
just wanted
The
to
Dirt.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, okay, author. Well, the author is probably multiple people, but yeah, mainly it's Tommy Lee. Basically, it's an autobiography of Motley Crue, the rock band.
Oh, okay.
It's really good. This book is hysterical. I mean, from the first page, it's chaos. They're talking about like all sorts of crazy like sex escapades that these guys were in.
Oh,
Their
wow.
apartment is all messed up. Yeah, I'll have to send you some excerpts from it, just from the first chapter, and you'll be like, "That's the first chapter." Yeah, the book is insane, but it's such a fun read. Just going through it changes perspectives often. Like every few pages, it'll change to a different band member, and the first few chapters is them pretty much their early life, and how they ended up meeting, which is crazy. The story of them meeting like how they got together is insane.
Wow.
There's just so many So many shenanigans. Like one of them was just like pretty much homeless,
Oh wow.
and he was just living from place to place, and he would like hook up with girls so he can stay at their at their apartment.
Oh wow.
Sugar
It was
mama.
hysterical.
Oh
Exactly, they were
wow.
sugar mamas. This one dude was like stealing stuff so he can sell it for drugs, so he can afford instruments, and buy a guitar.
Oh my.
It's just
I had
that's like the first 10% of the book is just insanity. So I've been really enjoying that one. And then let's see. Oh, Leonard just mentioned Feed.
Oh my god. We are not reading feed. I don't care if that
what is
is.
that?
Oh, okay, okay, okay. Sorry,
Give him the lowdown.
Cecil. Okay.
No, that's no,
So
please.
Leonard and I used to read books together, and we went on from this we got the book from a YouTuber, a booktuber, kind of, and she was like, "Oh, it's really good and stuff like that." It had like a different spin um about like zombies and all this. And I'm not a big zombie person, but I thought, okay, she made it sound interesting. Reread the synopsis and everything like that. And now the book started off good. Like I'm not lying, like good. So basically, it starts off like you get to know about this brother and sister who were adopted by this husband and wife, and they end up um, doing like I think it's like a blog, basically, and they go to these hot spots where zombies are and stuff like that. So one of the things that she will say, "Hi, I'm so and so, and this is my brother who likes to poke things with sticks." Okay, it's fine, like she said it, she introduced, blah blah blah. They had maybe one or two incidents with actually like zombies, full on zombies, but nothing else. But it was like it seemed like in every chapter or like whatever, "Hi, this is my brother, and he likes to poke things with stick." She constantly said this, constantly, over. The book went up, and then it just went down. Like it was just, oh my god. Oh,
Just ran out of steam so quickly.
you could not. It was just that one line. It wasn't just like a once, maybe twice thing. She constantly said it. "Hi, this is my brother. He likes to poke things with sticks." Like that was the
It's like
constant thing. And there was, okay,
wow.
they weren't blood related, but there was like you could tell some sexual, like, yeah,
Mention there.
yeah. I'm just,
They
I
were
just,
really
He's my
proud of that
brother.
line.
He likes to poke things with sticks.
yeah, yeah. Basically, that's all it was. It was just constantly like I'm just like, oh please, please, please.
It's like a bad Saturday Night Live skit that won't end.
We were like so disappointed because we were reading that book fast. Like we were like we would be, oh, we'll just read up to this and then talk about it. We would actually pass the chapters or whatever that we were gonna stop to talk about it. We literally were like going past it, and then all of a sudden it just seemed to die down. It was just so.
That's great. It just fell off a cliff, basically.
Yeah,
Just like,
yeah.
oh wait.
But it's a series. It's a series too. And I was gonna read the other one, and I read bit, like, I don't know if it was the prologue or the synopsis, but he is, because I can't say like if he's actually picturing it, like if it's mentally or he's just thinking this is what his sister would say, but he believes that he hears his sister talking to him, and I just couldn't. I can't. I'm sorry. I can't. I can't. No, no. I was like, I can't. I can't.
Oh.
I was just waiting for him to say, "Hi, my name is blah blah blah, and I like to poke things with sticks." I just couldn't do it. I was just waiting for that line, and oh, yeah. Anybody suggests feed, and I'll tell you right now, I'm DNFing that book right away because I will not. I will not. No, no, no. Okay, Cecil, carry on with your books.
Okay, let's see. What was the other one I read? Okay, so this book, apparently, this one was written by Stephen King's son.
Oh, okay.
Yes, Joe Hill. I think that's his son. Let me just double check. I don't want to give out wrong info. It's like, dude, no.
He's
Um,
not related to him at all, man.
Dude, what are you talking about? No, okay, yeah, he is. Okay, cool. So he he writes horror as well, and he wrote this book called Heart Shaped Box,
Oh, okay.
and I've been reading that one.
Is it
Yeah,
good?
right.
Or is
It's
it?
okay. This is really good so far. So far, from what I've read, it's pretty good. Really cool concept for it's like a ghost story. So let's see. Okay, so at the beginning, it's basically about this musician.
Uh-huh.
He's like a really, really edgy musician who, you know, I guess he does like more punk rock music and stuff like that.
Okay.
And so he's into like really like dark stuff and goth and macabre and just
Wait,
grotesque
he
things.
doesn't bite bats' heads off and spit them at.
I wouldn't put it past him.
Good old Ozzy.
I think, yep, I think that's in his wheelhouse. I'm not even gonna lie to you. So he loves this stuff, and so he has a secretary that kind of looks for stuff on eBay
Uh-huh.
that is like just dark, right?
Okay.
And so he finds this suit,
Okay.
and he's like, "Hey, you might want to come look at this suit, and it's supposed to have a ghost in it." And the backstory on the suit was like, yeah, it was like some girl's dad or something haunted this suit, and he's like, that's BS. And he auctions on it, he buys it. It comes to his house, and then like as soon as it gets there, it's like things just start getting weird, and it just keeps escalating, and there's just more and more crazy, creepy, yeah.
Ooh, that
And the
actually
way
does
this guy
sound good.
writes, it's really good, yeah. The way this guy writes, though, he makes it so creepy, and there's like lots of good build-up and tension,
Ah.
and yeah, he's really good with the cliffhangers at the end of the chapters, of course.
Do you think
So you
he's
have to
gonna
keep
be
reading.
better than his dad?
So far, well, at least with this book, I wouldn't go that far.
Mm.
He's pretty good, but yeah,
Stephen
I'll have
King
to
is kinda
see.
Edgy, you know.
Yeah, Stephen King's edgy. You can tell where he's because
Yeah,
you can tell that there's some inspiration, like some of the writing styles and the way he describes characters is pretty similar to Stephen King's style,
Mm.
which was pretty cool. But he has this like that little younger edge to it, you know. So, but yeah, that's about all I can say about that one so far.
Edgar Allan will
Yeah.
always be the king of horrors. Okay, okay.
Oh yes, yes.
I remember reading Edgar Allan stuff like when I was attending like school and stuff like that. Like I think we were forced to read that, you know, like something of that. you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was like a forced thing in school that you had to read some sort of Edgar Allan Poe.
And Shakespeare.
Oh.
Oh my God.
Willow.
Shakespeare was so hard.
Oh.
That, he is like so hard to read. Like because the way that they used to talk back then is just like you can't comprehend it, you know?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't read that one. Maybe I will read that one, The Highwayman. No, I have an issue with one of Shakespeare's stories. If it ever gets picked, I will not read it. I refuse to read it.
Also on the ban list.
I have a pretty
The
big
Willow.
ban list. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember doing
great, it's so
a
great.
test on that poem that I think was it a poem, the Edgar Allan Poe one. I believe it was, but it was hard. I think I got a D.
Oh no!
Yeah, I got a D in that, but I was like, oh man, it was just because it was so hard, like the way that they would speak,
Mm.
like you'd
Right.
have to sit there and like dissect it, and it's pretty much guessing of what they're actually talking about.
Yeah. No, mine for Shakespeare is Romeo and Juliet.
Oh yeah, that's the one that's the one that we did. Sorry, it
But
wasn't Edgar Allan.
but the reason why I will not read Romeo and Juliet is because for some reason my English teachers in high school had a hard on for Romeo and Juliet. I read it for grade 9, fine. Guess which one I had to read for grade 10 English? You guessed
Which
it. Romeo and Juliet.
Romeo.
Then I get into grade 11. Guess which one I had to read?
Romeo
Again.
and
3
Juliet.
guesses, but you only
Yeah.
need one.
Yeah. And then, so I was done. Done with Romeo and Juliet. Then I get into college, and because I was out of school for a while, they make you do upgrading. And I said, which Shakespeare story do I have to read? She goes, oh, well, I said, if you say Romeo and Juliet, I said, just give me an F right now. She's like, why? And I told her, and she goes, okay, I'll find something else for you. I will not
so
read
funny.
Romeo and Juliet. With how many stories he has written.
So many more interesting stories.
Why?
Like
Why?
12th Night, Hamlet. Come on, people, stop spamming Romeo and Juliet.
Leonard, how many books recently have you read of Shakespeare? Leonard
He's
used
like, I can't take any more of this.
Nice.
Yeah,
None.
I feel
He's
that.
like,
None.
none.
It's just the writing style that he has. It's like it's
Mm.
old English. So old English is kind of hard to like I was saying, comprehend.
Yeah.
It's like they say this, and you're kind of like trying to guess what it is that they're saying.
Yeah. So the book that we read was Senju by Laura Jo Rowland. I don't know if I pronounced her
I think you got it.
um,
Lord J. Rowling.
book. And The Wheel picked it. It was one of my books on The Wheel. So, what were your takes? Mine for.
Why don't you go first?
Yeah, you can go first if you like.
Me? Me?
Yeah.
Oh, me. Oh. Okay. I would give it 4 stars just because, well, 4.5 stars, I guess. Just because I like the historical part and, kind of the mystery parts of the book. Yeah, it can be slow. It's not a very fast mystery. A lot of things happen in between that might have just, I guess, dragged the book on. But but for me, this is a reread. So
Okay.
I knew.
Okay, yeah.
I knew kind of like what was happening. Like certain things, I wasn't quite sure if it was in this book or in another book, but it was a reread. So certain things, like I said, I wasn't sure if it happened in this one or in another book. But like I said, like you could read these books in any order to be.
Which is cool. That's cool how she did that with this.
Yeah. So I really liked it because when I went to Japan, so it kind of made it even more I
Oh
think,
man, yeah.
Because you
interesting.
understood the culture a little bit, you know. So
Yeah, so
yeah,
it,
and
it
things
was
you're referring to.
like, so for me, it was really, I really enjoyed it. I know it probably was a slow read for some people, but I really liked it. I really liked it because you kind of get a glimpse into like the culture back in those days. But I also liked it that, like the author, she's Chinese and Korean. So that was kind of neat, like
So it's
how,
very familiar, huh?
like,
Like
well,
to
I
her.
I don't know if it's so much familiar because they have some similarities, but they also have a lot of different similarities too.
Yeah.
So it was kind of interesting to see how well she wrote, like, on a culture that she may not have been familiar with, in the sense like she probably had to do research into.
Hang up jaw. I just have to say that her description of Japan in that era.
Yeah, she was highly detailed in that, you know, and I guess that's kind of what threw me off a little bit. And yeah, like I didn't get to finish it,
Mhm.
but I made it to like at least the halfway point. You know, I liked the beginning part because
Mhm.
how it just like it went into that whole Shinju double, you know,
So,
suicide type thing,
yeah.
you know, and
Mhm.
you know how it all comes into play. Like he just goes into this investigation, just some, you know, just this guy, you know, like that got this job handed to him. Pretty much, he had no idea what he was doing, you know, until he had to start doing it, and a lot of the, you know, I guess the yeah the historical part of it, it just it kind of threw me off a little bit in a way because it was so detailed and like they would describe these certain like things, you know, being in the 1600s and stuff like that. Like we didn't, you know, I'm just saying like from my own point of view that I've never been to Japan, but I would have to research a lot of these words, you know,
Mhm.
that they had in the book. So I would,
Oh.
yeah, so reading it I was just writing down like certain things that I
Oh.
didn't have
Mhm.
no idea about, you know. So I was
Mm,
like,
yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Yeah, I guess that's what kind of made it a little bit harder. Like I think it would take me a lot longer to read a book like that because
Oh.
I want to research it, you know, because I have no idea. You know,
Mm.
I would like to research it so I can
It's like
get
you
a
want to understand each term as much as you can, right? Like, okay, what is?
yeah,
She would explain
yeah, like
some of them, but yeah, there's a few
effective,
words where.
you know, where they're like they have to like kill themselves and stuff if they dishonor
Oh,
the
right, the different. Yeah.
yeah, if like for not and since he's like pretty much going against the hierarchy at the time, you know, it kind of makes it interesting because he's you know like he's doing things that a normal detective would not do, and he's not really familiar with being a detective, you know. So he's just kind of like just keep like you said, you know, he just got thrown into it because somebody did his family a favor and they wanted to honor that or whatnot, you know, by giving him the position, you know. So it was kind of crazy. That's why it was taking me so long to like get through it because
Oh, okay.
I like to analyze in every little detail what it is that's going on.
Oh, see,
Yeah.
I thought, to be honest, I thought maybe you were like finding like it, because like it does
It
slow
did
down,
drag.
right? And I was thinking, oh, maybe he's just not liking it. Like, and if he did it, I was fine. But I was like, oh, like, I kind of felt bad because like I'm just like, oh, like there's these parts that kind of are like draggy, and I'm just like, he's probably thinking this is so boring. Like, get on with it.
No, but it's cool though, like how it's you know goes from like a normal like love story where you know everybody's you know I mean these two people you know one being royalty or whatnot, and then other just like some scrub that she's in love with, and
Mm-hmm.
they're, and her family like not being so receptive to that, basically. So it was, that's from what I see, what I've read, you
Yeah.
know.
Well, you're
I
gonna
do
get
like,
spoilers though. You do
it's
realize that.
okay,
Okay,
yeah.
okay. Just making
Okay,
sure. Just making
okay.
sure.
Oh, that
Yeah.
was my next question. I was like, is there spoilers allowed?
Yeah, no, no,
It
that's
gets
fine.
nutty.
Yeah.
It gets
I don't mind
crazy.
it because like I know that I'm taking my time with it because I'm trying to like, research different things in Japan. I do love Japanese culture and
Mm,
stuff like that, but
mm.
I'm more familiar with I guess you could say a little bit more modern instead of like those Edo period, which is like,
Right.
Yeah. Like
the whole
feudal.
samurai, yeah, the whole samurai, uh, way that they lived and stuff like that.
Yeah. Well, it's good that you are like you were enjoying, like even though it was slow in some parts, but you were enjoying it because I was really afraid that like you were just like forcing yourself to like read this book that you weren't.
It's a tough read,
It,
for
yeah,
me,
but
especially getting back into reading because I
yeah,
haven't read in so long.
Oh, true. Yeah, if you haven't
yeah.
read for a while, yeah.
Yeah, but like this is what I want to say like right now. Like if you're ever like if it's say like a book that you it's not like a book that you want to read or like you get into your reading it and you just can't read it for some reason like it's just not your cup of tea or whatever, you could just DNF it. You could just say, "I'm, I'll talk about what I've read and I DNF'd it, and this is why." And it's fine.
Mhm.
We're not gonna like you're not gonna sit there and be quizzed and like, yeah. So what did you think about this incident on page 422?
Oh
We're not
yeah,
we're not gonna
Poor.
do yeah yeah like it's not gonna be anything like that
No
like
pressure.
yeah like if you don't like a book like you don't have to be like, oh, I have to read it and I have to finish it. If you don't, you don't. Just tell us, what you thought of the book, like you just did, and that's fine.
Hmm.
Because we're not gonna. It's not to make anybody feel bad at all. Like this is for fun.
Exactly. That's the least. That's the furthest thing we want. We just have
I,
fun, and if you're
I
not having
mean,
fun with the book, then drop it. It's
yeah,
all
I'm
good.
not gonna lie, it's not my cup of tea, but because how it gets into a lot of the hierarchies and it went from like a mystery to like a political struggle, and
Yeah.
it seemed like the way that they lived at that time was kind of rough,
Yeah.
because like you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't, like if you go against them,
Yes.
then it's then you have to die.
Yeah. Yeah.
So like
Like go commit
him,
seppuku. It's like it's like
yeah,
that's it.
like he gets in his investigation and he has to do certain things, so he can't really do these things,
Mhm.
due to his own what is it, his own culture, being a samurai and abiding by the samurai way of life, and then all of a sudden going into detective work. It just it's a lot to research,
Mhm.
in other words,
Mhm.
that's where it was getting me,
Oh, okay.
you know
Okay. So if it was
yeah,
just say something like you kind of knew like the history and you kind of knew the culture a little bit better, you probably would have like just breezed through it because you wouldn't have to look up
yeah,
why
when
this thing.
yeah, exactly,
Yes.
that's what it
Yes.
was for me because I like to read books, but I like to know what it is that I'm actually reading and stuff,
Oh,
and
okay.
so it's kind of, it went in with these things, and it's, she did a okay job of explaining,
Uh-huh.
briefly,
Mhm.
but in order to get the full gist of everything that's going on, you'd have to actually like research the era, you
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
in which it was taking place, which is, you know, the 1600s and stuff like that. So you know how the daimos and you know the magistrates are going, you know, or what they're doing and stuff like that.
Do you think if she said maybe did a little bit like of an index on like some of the like the
Yeah, there was an
wording and
index.
stuff like that,
Ooh,
that
that
would
would have
have
been
been.
really helpful.
Yeah, that would have been great if she had an index in like at least in the back of the book, because I
Mhm.
know in a lot of books they do that where they have the index in the back of the book. So don't have if you don't remember what it is the term was, you
Mhm.
know, like a daimo, you know, like
Yeah.
or a certain um, structure, you
Yeah.
know, that they're walking under or something. It give a better visual of what it is, you know, because around that time they didn't have telephones and
Right.
none of
Right.
that stuff. They had they had horses.
Yeah. 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 Okay. Okay. I see. That's fair. That's fair.
Yeah,
I
that was good.
understand. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So when I was reading, you know, I was looking online also, you know, like these terms because I need to get a dictionary.
Mm. Mm.
I don't have a dictionary, so
I have a
I need.
dictionary, but it's somewhere. I don't know exactly where. Because a lot of my books I had put because I don't have the shelving, so a lot of my books are like in like boxes and stuff like that. So it like I said, like not all my books are out and about. So
Yes. So what I had thought about it, you know, at first, you know, it starts off as the lovers thing, you know, that is going on, and then they find out, oh, okay, his body's dropped in the river, you know, like then they go into the investigation and run across the guy that ends up doing the autopsies,
oh yeah, the
and they
doctor.
figure,
Yeah.
yeah, and they figure out, well, he's not really supposed to be doing those type of autopsies, you know,
No.
dabbling in different types of things that's against um, the religion that they believe in. So it repulses them in a way, you
Mm.
know, when these things happen. I was like, this dude really getting all sick over do like
You're like,
like this dude's getting sick and about to go puke because they're dissecting the body. He's supposed to be a detective and you know, like
but
but
to be
yeah.
honest, he was also just a teacher though before he was, you know. Um,
Yeah, he was in the samurai
so
what is it? I don't want to say hierarchy. It's way of life.
mm.
So yeah, the samurai way of life was, I guess, a lot different, and he didn't have any clue of how to do these things, but he wanted to get to the bottom of the things that were happening. You know, noticing that it wasn't just double suicide.
Yeah.
It's honestly, the book is it's a trip because it's like even though it's a really takes place in this period, this ancient period, I think what drew me to it is that it felt overall like a police procedural. It and it's really that's what it is. Because even though you have all these like crazy terms and stuff and it's different cultures, when you really like distill it down, it's like a police procedural. It has all the tropes. It's like he's trying to investigate this crime. He knows there's more to it, and he has a superior who doesn't agree with him. You know, it's like,
Yeah.
no, I don't want you to work. No, you can't work on this. He even gets stripped of his badge. You know, just like a police person. It has all of the tropes. I was like, this is so cool.
Yeah, that's what I was
But
saying.
I
Like
really
he
like that.
that was I like that too. That it would have been nice to if he was able to like do a lot more without so much what is it? Uh
Red tape.
yeah, like retribution
Yeah,
against him, you know,
he
for
was like,
just
oh
trying to
man, he
do
had a
his
lot of
job.
opposition.
Everybody's just, you know, pretty much doing what the others want because you're not allowed to do that. you know. So, but he's not listening to them. You know, he's still kind of doing on that, and he wants to get to the bottom of it, which is great. I wish I would have. I'm not done yet, but it's okay for spoilers.
Oh,
But
okay.
yeah, I made it about halfway. You know, where they're
Okay.
he's investigating and talking to these different people,
Mm.
you know, and stuff like that.
It has some pretty interesting twists. I'll say that.
Yes,
I
yes.
think the last half it contains a lot of them, huh, Willow? Like a lot of the
Yeah,
twists are in the last
yeah.
half.
Like I don't know if Candy, if you got to where he was interviewing the sumo wrestler Raiden.
Oh man, Brayden. Oh my God.
Yeah, I don't know if you got there.
Um, I think I might have.
Raiden is
Yeah, yeah.
he? Yeah, he doesn't have a daimyo anymore, so he has to kind of like do street fighting kind of thing. Leonard, very funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
I remember that. Remember that part a
Leonard's
little bit,
great.
because I got like halfway, and I think it was just like, um, probably like a little bit past the first half of the book
mm,
when he started, you know, doing the going and talking to the different people.
Okay. Yeah, I think I know which part you were at. Um, but yeah, he's like the wrestler who goes berserk.
yeah, when
Basically, he's a
he,
berserker.
yeah, basically, yeah. So okay, so this is like jumping quite far in. So basically, like about 252.
hmm
Um, what? So this is more for you, Cecil, because you probably. But what did you think about what they did to him in jail?
Oh, but that part was hard to read. That was really hard to read.
When I first read it, like the very first time, I thought, oh, he's doing so well. Like I'm thinking,
Yeah, that's what I
he's
thought
not
too. I was
confident.
like,
But then when they bring in that copper and they pour it
the
in his
copper
wounds,
part.
oh,
And didn't they cut open his back, didn't they? Like, and they
yeah,
poured it
yeah,
in.
yeah,
Oh God! And he couldn't take it.
yeah.
He's he's
That
like,
was,
screw it, I did it. You know? He just confessed.
yeah,
Oh man,
that
he
was,
was that was so hard.
yeah, that was,
Because when they left, I was like, okay,
yeah,
that first time, I was
yeah,
like, okay, maybe there's a chance they'll, you know, but they no, they wanted a confession.
yeah. They got one, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah,
Executed
or
him right away.
okay, this is going now back. I don't know what page it was, but what do you think about what the mother did to her stepdaughter? Make her join the
Oh man,
nunnery.
yes, that was awful. That was so awful. And it's just like, and it led to so many things going wrong
Mm,
because, so Sano is like, okay, he finds out she's there, finds out she got sent there. So he goes on this pilgrimage down there with his secretary, right?
yeah.
And he's like, okay, let's go do this. And his superior, the magistrate, he's like, you can tell the magistrate is like, yeah, I know what you're up to,
Well,
or has an idea.
I think he kind of knew, but didn't know because he said
But
he's
then
going for his father, right? Like,
right,
because if you
yeah.
remember when the mother was like the stepmother was going to have the tea with
Oh, that's
him,
right. That's when he
uh,
really found out,
he
right?
found out that the daughter was at that same temple that he was going.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes. I really like that scene too.
yeah,
Like, how nervous he was. He was really confident at first, or kind of. He was like, okay, I
yeah,
think I have the advantage in this tea thing, and then
yeah.
she would say certain things, and he started dropping stuff and just spilling tea. It was like,
Oh,
oh no, yeah. But yeah, so he finds out, so he goes on his pilgrimage, Sano and his secretary. What's his name? Sunihiko, I
something
think.
like that. Yeah.
Yeah, they go and the secretary was like this, just kind of like lovable kind of goof.
Yeah.
He really liked Sano and wanted to like learn from him and always wanted to go with him on his little, his
Adventures.
investigations.
Yeah.
Yeah, they stay at this hotel. So and the whole reason they're going is because the stepmom had sent Midori to this nunnery, and Sano wanted to, interrogate her and ask her like,
Well,
well, do you
not
know
but
anything?
ask,
Well, not
yeah,
interrogate,
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
ask. He wanted to ask her like, what did you see in, the diary and everything. And then they get to the hotel, and it was so sad. It's like so was it? That was Well, I won't. I'll get into that. Who actually killed his secretary? We'll get into that later, because that's revealed a lot later in the book. But
Yeah.
yeah, that was awful. Because when Sano woke up
Excuse me.
in that inn that he was staying at, he just heard this gurgle sound, and I was like, as soon as I saw that, I read that, I was like, oh,
Yeah.
I knew he had gotten killed. And then when Sano discovers him, it was just so heartbreaking. And he gets all the way down there.
But
Oh, it's just
my
man.
curiosity though is, but by the sounds of like the descriptions of the secretary compared to Sono, it sounded like the secretary was pretty like a pretty big guy.
Yeah,
So
yeah, it did
how
sound like
did
he
you
was.
like? Okay, I understand at nighttime, but he even said the murderer said that he had good night vision. It didn't sound like he had good
Oh
night vision.
yeah.
Like
It
I'm
sure
just
didn't.
yeah
Because he was always wheezing, right? His secretary. So he was probably bigger.
yeah.
And he loved to eat. So like you see two lumps in the bed, it's like, okay, let's see. The bigger lump is probably not sound.
I know. Like how like was he this guy like a lot shorter than Seno? Like it didn't make it
I
sound like
don't
he
know.
was shorter. It just sounded like he was young but bigger.
Yeah, yeah. But just yeah, more rotund.
Yeah, yeah. Robust.
So yeah, that is interesting. That is an
Yeah,
interesting thought.
yeah. Cuz he did say, "Oh,
But
I have good night vision." And I'm like, "Okay.
mhm.
Then how did you mistake one guy for the other?"
I know. Oh my god. But I felt so bad for Midori being
Mm,
sent to the nunnery. It's like, oh.
mm.
And they shaved her hair
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
and just pretty much a prison.
Yeah, yeah. Well, she's out like in, God knows
I don't
where.
know. I know, in the
Like
middle of nowhere.
Booneyville.
Was that character the one that spilled the tea?
No,
No.
the one was where you didn't really get to see her. Um, she
Yeah.
basically was behind the screen, and
Oh,
she
okay,
was
that was the daughter, right?
yeah, she was
Yeah.
the daughter.
Okay.
But
Yeah.
what they did to the maid was,
Oh
oh
my
my
god.
god. Like when I first
Woo!
like cuz see I knew that was going to happen. So like my shock wasn't as big as it was like the first time. Oh
Mm-hmm.
my god.
Oh god. And it just kept getting worse when you just kept getting more details. It's like, wait, what? They did what?
Mm-mm.
Oh.
They were brutal, weren't they?
Oh, they
Uh,
were. They
they
were
were.
like I mean, when they at first they were keeping at such a strict eye. She couldn't meet Sano at this sword shop because she was going to go to the magistrate to explain what she heard
Mhm.
and stuff like that. And Sano and her had made an arrangement to go and meet,
Yes.
but she couldn't get away. And then she used the excuse that she was going to go to the bathroom. Well, one of the other maids followed her, and she basically climbed out. She thought for her like freedom out underneath
Yeah.
the toilet thing,
Which was gross.
which
Oh
was
man.
yeah it was. But then the one of the guards, I'm not gonna say which one yet. The one of the guards
Mhm.
basically strangled her to death. And you think that's it? That she's gonna be, they're gonna find her body and she's gonna be strangled, and that's it.
Exactly, yeah.
Uh-uh.
But
Uh-uh. So they take her body by where Sano lives, and they basically like cut off her wrist, uh, her nipples. I think her even her
Damn.
feet. I think I
yeah, they cut off her ankles. Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
Oh man, I
And
didn't even
and
it was just a
forgot that
torso
part.
almost.
yeah, like in a way grateful that she was probably dead when that happened.
I know.
But
Yeah.
but
Ugh.
but it seemed like in those days, if you died, you didn't die whole, so your spirit wouldn't go on.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was another thing too, right there in the thing, because you know they had the Shinto type religion and stuff, and the body being like dead or
Desecrated.
something like that. Yeah, or it's just it's impure for you, you know. So
It it
I
it
understood that part.
it was I it was a horrible death, like a horrible,
Yeah.
like I mean, but yeah,
And the way they used it to frame Sano just made it even more brutal. It's like that's just,
yeah,
oh, you know, just oh,
yeah,
like they just transported the body because Sano noticed there was like not a lot of blood, and of course if you have a death like that, there'd be blood. So the body was obviously moved,
but
moved nearer to where he lives. Ugh, brutal, brutal stuff.
yeah, yeah.
Okay, I got one for you, Willow.
Okay.
Okay, now what did you think about what transpired with the son, young Lord Neil?
Oh, with the boy?
Yeah,
Oh, well, I mean, like I okay, so I'm gonna go back from like when I first read the book, because like I knew
yeah,
that there was something, like I couldn't remember what it was, but I knew he was. I I was kind of like, it was, for me it was kind of shocking because like he didn't really do anything, in a sense, like he
right,
didn't sexually assault them. In
yeah,
like he cut them. But
yeah,
the idea that he would like literally masturbate over that, oh, that just was just like, oh god,
yeah, like it
like
got him off.
yeah,
Oh,
oh,
Sadist freak
right,
stuff.
mm-hmm,
yeah, like
mm-hmm.
that was like something where it was like, okay, is that a little bit like, you know.
I
And
was
bro,
just like,
I want
what?
to know, because they said that they were samurai's sons. Like these were sons of samurai. How did he get them? Like I know they said Cherryface brought them. The only way I could think of it is that they were a lower samurai,
Uh,
because
like lower rank or something.
yeah,
Because yeah, he
because
just procured them somehow, and you're just like, what? How?
and then to top it off, that one that he killed, no samurai mentioned it, said anything. Let's be
Uh-huh.
honest, if it was a higher ranking, that would have been whoo, news all over the place.
Exactly. It was basically like, yeah, it was trafficking. It was human trafficking basically, because they're getting people that boys that weren't, I guess, that didn't have anybody that would look for them if something
Yeah,
happened, I
I
guess.
don't
Or they
know.
got, or he got lucky with that one.
I don't know,
I
but
do remember
Who was the
something
guy?
about
Oh,
somebody
sorry.
got paid off. Oh, I'm sorry, Candy. Go ahead.
Oh no, I was gonna ask. So I know that one of those, the higher ranking guys, I can't remember his name. Um, he was into boys pretty much.
they were kind
And
of
yeah, I don't know which character that was. He was a higher ranking guy, and was he the
Oh yeah, there's a
one?
part of the book where he was talking about how some samurai uh would have like, yeah, like male to male relationships, right? Right,
yeah,
Willow?
yeah. They, well, that was like,
There's a
I
really,
guess that was seemed to have been like a practice back then. Like I don't know if it
yeah,
was a true practice, but it was a practice that
Oh, like a manliness thing.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, like
yeah,
like
yeah.
it wasn't frowned upon, I guess you could
Yeah, the male
Yeah.
love
Yeah.
thing, but yeah, no, but there was a I can't remember. It was
You mean
and I
the
had just read it
artist?
too.
There was an
No, that
artist that did a lot of the drawings.
Yeah, he would draw like that type of.
no. I think it was one of the. I think he was a higher ranking guy that. That's where I'm starting to get like confused because like I know that it was like building up to a point where um things had started to get questionable, like as far as all these people connected to the same sort of thing that was
I
happening,
know. Yeah, yeah.
you know, and you're like, okay, so I it did get interesting in that part, like where it started, where everything started like connecting little by little, but I didn't read it all, obviously. But yeah, that's what I was trying to figure out. Like,
Right.
like I seen that they were taking out people gradually, whomever it was that was doing these things, and I felt like it was somebody higher in the ranks, that was doing that.
Well, it wasn't so much the high person that was doing it. The high person paid one of their uh, guards to do the killing.
Oh, okay.
So, um, okay. So I'll give you a rundown. So, do you remember, lady? What's her name? Neo. Um, the
Yeah,
okay, her. And you remember her guard that she had with her?
yeah, I remember that part. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, that guy, the kind of silent but strong guy.
Yeah.
Okay, she basically went around telling him to kill these people.
Okay.
So he killed her daughter or her stepdaughter, because
Yeah, that
the
wasn't her daughter, right?
right,
That was
the
his daughter.
that but the no, it wasn't his daughter. He was just a servant. The main
Oh no.
daimyo, the main samurai, he was off in his province, wherever it may be, because he was mad. So basically, what it is back in those days, the um samurais and stuff, like the higher ranking ones, the daimyo, they basically, what they had to do was basically they had to leave their wives and children in the um in Edo.
Mhm.
They would live in the province, and then sometimes they would come back and live there for a bit, and then they would go again. But the females and stuff like that, like their children, were basically prisoners, because they believed that the shogun believed that if they didn't have if they didn't have their families, they wouldn't do like war, because they could their families could be slaughtered.
In that time period, it was more peaceful or some that
Yeah,
sort of
yeah, they
around that
had
time.
Right.
There was
yeah,
no war times,
at that time, yeah, yeah, the things. So it was her. Let me see if I could find um the name
Her
of,
servant's name was like Chan.
yeah, Ichan or something, yeah.
Yeah.
And so he was told by the lady, the second wife, that was the second wife, to kill the uh, daughter and the artist, to throw them in to make it look like a thing, and then he killed the secretary too. So the son, her son, which was the lord with the bad leg, he the only time that he actually killed somebody was
Yeah, this was awful.
that was the one of the boys that he masturbated and cut. That was that's what he usually did. But the reason why he killed him because his sister came in and she wasn't supposed to be there. Like she just walked in and saw and he got mad and because he couldn't really take it out on her, he took it out on somebody that was lower than him and no one would really care, I
Right.
guess. So that's why he killed the boy. But then his
And which also like leads into like this maid is the maid servant that got killed, Ohisa, because she was like really, she felt really guilty because I think she was the one that told Yukiku, that's the
yeah,
daughter.
that he was
She told her, yeah,
because the boys were drugged, so they wouldn't wake up or anything. So she thought
mm-hmm.
that they were dead because she saw him cut
Yes,
them.
yes,
So she thought that he was killing boys. But she didn't realize that they weren't dead. They were never dead.
mm-hmm.
And the boy, when the sister walked in, also woke up and he was like, "Where am I? Like, what is going on?" And he decided, "Well, okay, off the head you go." And that's
Mm-hmm.
yeah, that's how. Yeah,
So
but it
crazy.
was basically the mother that basically sent, did the death warrant for everybody. But
The
the
Lady Nui, right?
yeah
Lady
the
Nui.
Yeah.
but she was trying to save her son and the only reason why she kind of had the magistrate what's his name what's his name
You,
oh
Agyu.
Argue or something like that. The only reason why she had him around her little fingers because she found out and they never explained how she found out,
Mm-hmm.
but she
I
found
know.
out that he was bribed by a rich merchant to not kill his father for killing a dog because the um, shogun had put an edict out that all dogs had to be protected. You couldn't kill a dog. You couldn't like it was a big no-no. It was like a death sentence,
Yeah,
basically.
really big deal.
Yeah.
Yeah, and his word was pretty much like the main authority.
So she found out that he let this merchant uh, guy go, and so she kind of held it over. That's why she was like, Sano has to get off the case. He shouldn't be snooping and blah blah blah. That's how she had the power over the magistrate. But normally, if she had nothing, it wouldn't have mattered. You know, like no big whoop de doo doo. But Sano snuck into the property on New Year's Eve and told the mother that her son was going to commit treason because he was going to go kill the shogun because he was going to come out dressed like somebody from a fairy tale and he was going to kill her to take like kind of like rule kind of thing and she was like, well, I did all of this and he's going to destroy everything. And even in her will, like her goodbye letter, she was like, please don't do it, blah, blah, blah. And if
Yeah.
not, like, hopefully Sano could stop you.
I love that part too because, I mean, it just looks so bleak for Sano because he was in the house and he was looking for the scroll that would prove that the Lord was going to carry out this government overthrowing, right?
Yeah.
And so he's looking for the scroll and he gets caught by Ichan, right? Wasn't it Ichan that got him? Saw him?
Yeah.
So I'm just like, oh, he's dead. I
Yeah.
didn't see anything happen. And then like, so Lady Neo is talking to him, and so Sano was very measured. He said, okay, stay calm, tell her what I know, and maybe it'll make her think. Because at first, Lady Neil was like, "Oh, I knew all that stuff about my son. You know, I knew everything he did, but she didn't know about the treason plan that he had.
Yeah.
So she's kind of thinking like, wait, and she's like, okay, Ichan, bring him back in, because Ichan's about to just do him. He's about to just kill him, and then Lady Nuo said, wait, bring him back in, and Sano was like, okay, well, hey, he challenged Lady Nuo because he kind of had a feeling that she would accept a challenge, and he was like, okay, why don't we look in your son's room, and see if he has a scroll, because don't you want to just make sure? And she's like, damn it. So they go back to his room, and it was so suspenseful because you're just hoping that the scroll is actually in his room. You know, you're just like, what if it's somewhere else?
Yeah.
And they look through all these cabinets, and they didn't find it. And Sano's like, oh no. But then he notices this little hidden compartment in one of the drawers, and so Lady Neil's like, oh, it's not in there. It's just it won't be in
bad
there.
craftsmanship. Bad craftsmanship.
Yeah. But then she was like, yeah, Ichan, why don't you just come over here and just open this? And then that scroll fell out, and it was just all downhill from there.
Yeah, she knew that, like, if her son wasn't stopped, the family would have been, because basically that's literally death to the family.
It's a death sentence. It's a death sentence for your family. Yes.
Yeah. Like, it's not like, oh, you lose your ranking, you get exile. It's death, like the whole family.
You and your family. Yeah.
Mhm.
So she kind of cared for her family, but she cared for her son more.
Right.
But yeah.
And so she's like, oh man. And so she's so at first she's agreeing to go because basically what Sano wanted to do was clear his name and put the killer to justice. So he wanted to go to the Council of Elders, and so he's like, okay, Lady Neil, just come with me to the Council of Elders. You tell them what you know, and I tell them what I know, and then, your son will be punished, and then, So he's waiting, so Sano's waiting in a different room, and he's like noticing, wait, it's taking a long time here.
Yeah.
And so he has like this moment, this epiphany, like, oh no, this is not good. So he runs in there into Lady Neil's room. And unfortunately, she is doing the female version of.
Yeah,
so they had the seppuku. I forgot the word they used.
Yeah,
for...
I think it's just. Hold on, let me see if I can find it.
Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah. Note that down.
Yeah, it was real intense.
The book gets in. Yeah, it's very suspenseful. I could see how it could be slow, but for me, the pacing was really tight. It may be outside of maybe the first 2 chapters, maybe 2 or 3 chapters, and after that, it just was really tight.
Well, why did you not warn me?
Well, I didn't know that I was supposed to. Jai-gay.
That's it. Yes.
I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right. Is Jaigai? It's the women's version of the suicide. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then like,
so she was.
Way to go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah.
I knew about a little bit about that from watching Japanese samurai movies and stuff.
Yeah. I didn't know they had a female version. That was new. I was new to me. But yeah, so she does that, and then her servant is the one that takes off her head.
Yeah, it's called the second. That's he's the second. So basically,
The second.
Yeah, so basically, you have the person that is supposed to like for the guy or the girl. They do it with the sword or knife or whatever.
Yeah, first they stab themselves, and then the second takes off.
The second takes off their head.
Oh yeah, they
Right.
gut themselves.
Yeah.
But she did
And then
hers in the neck, though.
Yeah, is that what that might have been the difference, huh? For
Yeah,
the
I don't
females, like, they
don't
did the
know.
neck.
Maybe that's just where she did it, but yeah, she did
Yeah.
hers in her neck. Yeah.
Yeah. I was
So-
like, man. But what was next was like heartbreaking. It was like, This book really makes you feel for everybody because I was feeling for Lady Neo. At first, I hated her, but then I was like, oh, it just you just start to. And then the servant, he has a little. They kind of give him a little backstory after this happens, and you find out that he was like really young and was getting picked on, I guess, for the way he talked.
Oh yeah.
And yeah, and so he just pretty much just quit talking. But then he meets this girl, just meets him like I think she was what like
9?
was they like 9? Yeah, 9 years old. She's like, you know what? You're gonna be my servant from now on. And since then, he's been with Lady New. So he had a very long and just he cared about her a lot. Did anything for her.
Yeah, and I
But
think it hurt
then,
him that
yeah,
she
yeah,
didn't
go ahead.
mention anything in the letter, and he's
Hmm.
thinking he did everything. He killed people, and he even
Yeah,
liked the daughter. Like he was like the daughter. Oh, sorry, Grandpa.
yeah. He felt
The,
bad about her.
yeah, like he didn't want to kill the daughter, but he's like, I killed the daughter. I did all these things for you, and you didn't even mention me in your goodbye letter.
Yep, that was awful. And oh man, what else was there? Was something else about that scene. Oh yeah, the way he was. It was like the first time he had spoken a long time
Yeah.
to Sano. He was like, cause Sano got the letter and read it, and then Ichan was like, "You read letter me."
Yeah,
He's
yeah.
like, and
And
Sano's like, What?"
and it was kind of sad because he didn't even have a second when he killed himself.
No, that is right. So he just had to just bleed out.
Yeah.
Oh man,
That
tragic.
that was yeah.
From what I read, they were treating Sano really bad too. You know, like they just
Oh
they didn't
yeah.
even,
He
they
Oh
didn't
yeah.
let him do nothing.
he lost his position. Then because he wouldn't give up the thing, he lost both of his because he had the magistrate who was his head in the office. He lost him because
Hmm.
they said no. Then the person who actually found him the job, because he wouldn't stop the investigation, he lost his feedback and everything. The guy was like, "I'll even find you a high-ranking marriage and everything," and he's like, "No, I'm not gonna stop," and blah blah blah. And his father was
Yeah.
sick and everything. Yeah.
Oh, I know his father. Oh
Oh,
man,
yeah.
that scene we had to tell him that he lost it. Oh
Oh, yeah. And to him, and like the
man.
fall, he was like he was already dead to him. Like, don't go away. Like,
Hmm.
you don't exist
Yeah.
anymore. Oh yeah.
And he's just thinking, oh, this is gonna kill my father. It's gonna take the last of his life forces, knowing it is, the shame
Yeah.
brought around on the family.
Yeah. Yeah. So.
Years.
Yeah. So
Yes.
my I have a question for like maybe like you could probably both answer it. What way would you have taken? Would you have taken the easy way and just said, okay, yeah, whatever, just let the deaths be what they say it is? Or would you have taken the way that Sano did, like not give up?
What would you do, Candy?
I probably would want to investigate more. You know, like despite, like I would do probably something similar to him. You know, like despite all the people above me and stuff like that, because that's how you actually really get to the bottom of things. So, like it, and it's not only just the death; it's, like your whole family's involved too. So like getting him, like just taking it as it is, it's gonna scare a lot of people, like for them to even want to do something like that. But he had such like an honorable way of doing things, just wanting to get to the bottom of it instead of just accepting the hierarchy, that's above him. So I probably would have continued, and I probably would have died too.
Yeah, that's the thing. I wonder, like, I'm always thinking, like, because I also would have definitely investigated further. I don't know if I would have made the same decisions as Sano. I'm sure I would have did something different and probably would have ended up getting killed quicker or just something just I do wrong. It's like, oh, look, there goes that.
Yeah, because they had to
Uh,
be really calculated and really
yeah,
talk
you had
through
to really
stuff
think
and
it
be
through.
sneaky behind the scenes, and
Hmm.
you really couldn't do it too much in the light. I guess it's
Right.
like you had to go like real deep,
Deep
undercover or
cover.
whatnot. Yeah,
Hmm.
in order to get to the actual bottom of it, and you know, unveil these attachments, like to this connection, to this person, to that
Doesn't
person.
help when your superior is like,
Yeah, they're breathing down your
that's like
neck.
somebody breathing down your neck and he's like being controlled by someone else, so he doesn't want to go any further.
Yeah, and even the other ones are like shaming you, for the ones that have been in that position longer, that are born into it, instead of just, somebody who's just basically given it, like, oh, you're just... So he's kind of trying to like earn his stripes in a way, and make and do honorable thing, but you had to, sneak around also, because they're gonna come after you regardless, because you're digging in things you're not supposed to.
Too much. I mean, it's really the same now with this, it's just like it's so not much has changed. You could
No,
still
I
get
don't
in
think
trouble
so.
for like, yeah, it's like, oh, you don't dig into that case anymore. That's enough for closing the case. It still happens today.
Yeah, yeah, it's like a cold case that, you know that they're trying to leave cold and not have nobody
Yeah,
messing around
they don't want to.
anymore.
Yeah, they don't want to rustle any feathers. You're like, hey, come on, this is like, you get into some, like it could be like you could almost make a comparison to like maybe someone investigating someone in Hollywood or some big shot executive, and
Mm-hmm.
the department's like, okay, back off. This is,
Yeah, the
like this is not.
guys at the top of the food chain. You don't wanna
Yeah.
do that, because it's gonna reflect on everyone else. And
Mm-hmm.
make me look bad. You might succeed and get further, but
It's gonna be
I guess that's...
consequences.
Yeah, I guess is it's it's like the case of a person just starting the job and trying to do the best that they can. Probably not for just anybody else, but mainly for themselves, because they have that drive to want to get to the bottom of it, or they want to do the best that they can do, but they're not able
They're
to do the
already.
best they can do.
Yeah, and everybody's already there that's been there for like much longer. They're like, look at this new kid. Just fall in line. Just fall in line.
Just
Oh,
follow
just
in
yes.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't want to die like instantly or anything, so I,
Trying to get a little further, right, in the investigation.
line.
Like, can I
yeah,
find a little bit out?
it's
any
pretty rough.
any percent speed run? No, I'm just kidding.
I think for me it was like this time around reading it was a little harder because like with having a mom that's like she's not like as sick as like
Mhm.
it sounds like his dad was, but I could kind of
Right.
see where like he was going like, well, you know, I'm doing this, I'm just putting stress on my dad, which would be my mom,
Totally.
right? So for me, it would have been more like that, I think.
Yeah.
Like, oh, like, yeah.
Would have been a hard decision. You would have been struggling with it like he was.
Yeah, yeah, I think a lot, a little bit more than normal because it would been like, oh my god.
Absolutely.
But what do you think of his reward? I kind of feel sorry for him, to be honest.
He was just, you know, he got it. It's like it sounds good on paper,
Mm.
but it's just all that power, and it's just like, oh man, am I gonna just get into this situation over and over again now? You know,
Yeah.
has that? It's his personality. That's he wants to get to the bottom of whatever he's doing, and do it honorably. But it's like I bet he felt cursed.
Yeah, cause we won't tell you what type of thing he gets unless you want us to.
No,
Okay.
that's fine.
Okay, so because he saves the Shogun, but he's also injured, so the Shogun takes him to the palace, or I don't know what they call it, castle,
Yeah.
Yeah,
and
'cause that's what I was reading up to. I mean, that's what I figured it was coming up to. Like, it was gonna reach a higher, person that they're trying to get rid of.
yeah,
That's
well, it was the Lord Neo or whatever was trying to kill the Shogun, and so he saves them, and the Shogun is okay. Like, what do you want as an award? Well, he talks about uh, the young daughter who's in the nunnery to have her come back and live, like, and the Shogun's like, okay. Then the oh, what's her name?
Oh, the Wisteria
Yeah,
was
Wisteria. She ended up being from a high class kind of like prostitute. They basically stripped her of her high end and she ended up low. So he said for her to be able to live the rest of her life as a free, like, female. She doesn't have to work anymore. So the Shogun's like,
hmm
okay, fine, but what do you want for yourself? And I don't think he said anything. And the Shogun's like, oh, I have something. Like, I'll give you something. It doesn't say, but he goes to the back to the prison to visit the doctor. And then you find out that now he's personally working for the Shogun as an
these
investigator.
gifts and stuff.
Yeah.
Yep.
that might be a good though. Like,
It's
at
good,
least.
but it's also going to be a lot harder because it's like you really can't say, like, if the Shogun says no and you go against the Shogun.
It's a no. It's a no.
that,
Hard no.
that is like a hard no, 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 no. Like,
But you would think that,
Yeah.
assuming that saving his life and going to the ends that he went to, that he would have some sort of like deep appreciation, and be able to speak with him in confidence without having to be, you know, disgraced or his family.
yeah,
Possibly, because but it's a trip because when he saved the Shogun, they actually covered it up what happened,
yeah,
and
That's
and yeah, it's a trip because Sano was even feeling like a little bit of shame because they were gonna cover up, but he understood why because there were like repercussions because they didn't want the Shogun to be known as like being vulnerable to attack, but they had to kind of change the story of what happened that day. So I could just see if they're doing that, then I could just see like situations where Sano might want to do something and the Shogun's like, no, it's just like not gonna do that because very rigid.
oh my god, yeah, that
Oh,
that
Waka, no, Waka.
yeah, but yeah, that was gonna, it's gonna be a bit. Oh, but the magistrate that he was working under in the police station
This is so
got his
satisfying.
he got his
This is
comeuppance. It was funny.
it was so satisfying. Just he
Oh my
stumbles
god.
in, he saw Sano was
And he's just like, oh no.
get me out of here. They like exiled him, right? He like went to
Yeah,
like
he
some
lost, like, so he came from like a poor family, and he worked his way up, and now he's got stripped of all his rankings and everything, and he's now being exiled to some God knows
Like
forsaken.
island.
Yeah, yeah. Oh my God.
And that
Oh
sucks.
man.
Like he went through
I really like the
all the
battle
things.
too, the last battle.
Mm, mm.
Um, I liked how, because earlier in the book, Sana was like, training with that Jeet weapon,
Yeah.
that pronged weapon, which I've always liked that weapon
Mm,
in Japanese cinema or games or whatever, because it's a counter attack kind of weapon
mm, mm, mm.
where it can catch your sword, you can break the sword, or you can like throw somebody off balance with it.
Yeah.
And I love how in the last battle, Sano is about, the Lord is about to basically kill Sano, but he finds a Jeet on the floor, I think, and he's
Yeah.
like, oh, and it just gets this burst of energy because he's like, oh my God, and it's like his training comes back, and he just starts countering the Lord like over and over, and it was so good. Oh man, he broke his sword and everything.
Yeah. Like, and he was like kind of surprised. But then it said that
Yeah,
when he looked at the Lord, he looked like he was at peace too.
yeah, he was like kind of teeter-tottering on like killing or just being killed himself, right?
Yeah.
He was at peace, like, yeah, just kill me. I
Yeah.
want, because he wanted to die.
Yeah. Yeah. That's. But how many Lord's sons lost their lives to
Boy.
that? Because they said there was 21. 21.
Yeah,
Remember?
yeah,
So
yep.
21
Conspiracy of 21.
people lost their lives.
Mm-hmm. Brutal fight. Everybody got them all.
It was crazy.
Yeah, it was.
But... Oh, yes. He hissed himself. I watched him die. Yes, he told you.
Oh no, Titus.
No, he's
Laid
Wino.
out.
Wino. Come on.
Wino.
Come on. Let's be honest here. His name is Wino.
Let's be honest.
Wino.
Why is his name Wino?
Because he whines so much.
My old
Titus?
man. My
Yeah.
old man.
I just can't stand him. He whines too much. Okay, so we also have some other topics we thought about, Candy. So one of them is, what do you think of some, maybe one day? Well, actually, no. First thought off, we were also thinking about the wheel thing. Do you like how many books you have on the wheel, or do you got like want to cut it down where like we only pick one book each, and then it goes on the wheel, and then it's um
Hmm.
Yeah, which do you prefer, Candy?
Um, I would say less is less is better
mm,
because then it gives a more like it gives you more of an even chance,
mm,
be to read a book that
Multiple spins, yeah.
yeah. So it gives you more of an even chance. In it's not just like a whole bunch of books that you have to like go and look and look and look to find,
mm-hmm,
but the ones that that I picked are basically ones that I do want to read,
mm-hmm,
because it's the interest, that's my type of interest in books
mm-hmm,
in general.
Mhm.
This book was, I guess, a little bit harder for me due to the whole yeah, like the whole political aspect and stuff like that. It was interesting for the most part, and I am going to complete it,
mm-hmm,
on my own time.
mm-hmm.
Like it
Right.
was
It
just it
yeah.
was a harder read for me than normal because I haven't really read a book like that.
Mhm.
You
Mhm.
know, I've read mysteries
Totally,
and
yeah.
detective books,
Mhm.
but like I was saying, the time period, it just kind of like threw me off. Like if it was like a little more closer to the
Time
uh
zone that we are on now.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
exactly, then
Yeah.
I'd
Yeah.
be able to understand it a little bit more without having to research as much, you
Mm.
know.
Yeah.
I
So it's
understand
kind of
that.
like I can I can read it and go through it because like I already have a picture of what's going on, you know. And this you have to use like complete fantasy. It's not fantasy. What is it? You have
Well,
to use
the names are like fantasy, but it's historical fiction in a way.
yeah
Like,
the
cause
I
like
guess
it has some like truth in it, but like maybe like the way the culture was or whatever. The names, not all the names were maybe real names. You know.
Sprinkled in a few real actual
Yeah,
general.
yeah.
Like I think Aiso, yeah, was
I think
one.
the shogun's name was
Yeah,
like
yeah, I think he was real.
I think that that one was the real name. Um,
yeah, because I'm familiar with shogunate, magistrate, and stuff like that, but I don't know how their whole system works. In
mm-mm.
other words, you know, I don't know their whole system. I have brief knowledge of like samurai culture and things of that sort, but as far as the you know, the political system that they have, I'm not as I'm pretty much clueless to it,
Mm.
you know, because I mean I don't live over there.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know, I don't. That's why one day I would like to go so I can actually see these things and then have people explain it to me or and be like, oh, okay, that's oh, it makes sense, and maybe I'll have more of a better understanding instead.
Mm, mm. Well, I did
So
leave. Oh, sorry.
yeah,
Go.
historical stuff, even like old English stuff, you know, like stuff that happens in like England and around those places and stuff. It still would probably produce the same type of effect if it was like in the past and stuff.
Mm, mm, mm.
So I guess yeah, historical fictions are kind of like hard for me.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So those are kind of hard for me unless I have like an almanac or encyclopedia, so I can be able to find the
If you
definitions.
read, if you would like, they have. If you read on Kindle or your tablet or something, they'll have. If you use the Kindle app, they have a feature on there where if you're reading like a harder like that, it'll have definitions like pop up on the screen for those words that are uncommon or those terms.
Ah,
And
okay.
that could be that might be helpful just so you don't have to keep researching it, you can kind of just have it streamlined into the book while you're reading it, if just in the future if you ever want to um,
Yeah, I didn't know
dive
that they
into a
had that.
historical book.
Cause
Yeah, it's a
like
pretty cool feature.
yeah, cause normally I just read the hard copies because it's easier for me to read and
Yeah, yeah,
reading
I'm just
on
saying like for
Kindle.
this type of book like specifically you might want to
Yeah,
just
for
try
stuff like
that.
yeah, for stuff like that next time it'd probably be a little bit better.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like like it says on the front of the book, it's an exotic mystery, you know. So it's kind of cool to see how things happen over there. And I love history. I just don't know everything about it. About everywhere. But yeah, historical fiction is just a little tough for me, but other than that, I'm still going to finish it. But like I said, like what I do is I like to write things down
Mm.
as I'm going and then I research it a little bit just to see how it actually is. so I can get a better understanding and a better visual. You
mm,
know,
mm,
because it's not like a fairy tale book where you can just like imagine things. You know,
yeah,
these are factual.
mm,
You know, so
yeah,
Yeah,
being,
totally.
you know what I mean,
Yeah.
like I can envision, you know,
mm-hmm,
like magic being done or something. You
yeah,
know,
yeah.
through the description.
Yeah. Well,
Something about
I did leave the what is it? I did leave the books as is. HC did not give me any other books because I did
Okay.
offer I like he didn't. I offered to remove my books, but he didn't. I only had one book that he had suggested. I did put that on the wheel, but um like when Cecil and I were talking, we found that maybe it was a little too much, too many books. But we we want to ask everybody, kind of
Yeah, it might be a little too many. I had thought about that
eh,
in the beginning, more or less. That's why I was gonna like, okay, I'll give up a few books so
mm,
someone else can throw a few books in there also. You know, give it a little more variant.
yeah, yeah. So this time what I will do is we'll spin the wheel and see whatever book it lands on, and then maybe like you could still keep the book like you know that you want to read on. It will just be maybe one book at a time kind of thing,
I already
right?
know. Like, if you were to change the wheel to just one book per person, I already know what my one would be.
You
So
already,
that
he's like,
is,
oh, I already know. I already
I
know.
already know.
Okay, like I already know. So the other things that we were also talking about, what do you think about autobiographies?
Those are pretty cool.
What do
I
you think
like
about that?
reading those.
You like okay,
Yeah, those are cool,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, those are good for me. Yeah, I
okay.
love reading autobiographies. You
Uh,
know, those.
Cool.
Okay,
Yeah, I like those a
so
lot.
that could be okay because we were trying to think of other topics, and we were thinking of maybe doing one time, maybe doing something like a true crime,
Okay.
Yeah, I'm totally in for that.
like like if you're not like speak up, you if you
Yeah, let me know,
don't,
Candy. Yeah.
yeah, like don't just say oh yeah I'll go with that because you know Willow and Cecil are doing that. Like I mean, worst comes to worst, we could do this on the side or whatever. So don't feel like you
Exactly.
have to agree to
Well,
it.
I do like crime books. You
Okay.
know, like I do like those, but
Okay.
you know, I'm more familiar with the more modern day.
Yeah, because
You know, or
well,
at least a little bit in the past 1800s and 1900s and stuff. I
s-
kind of have a good visual of those type of crime type of books.
okay. So the people that we were kind of thinking of, like, because we just kind of the BTK uh killer. What was his name? Dennis
Oh
Rader.
yeah.
Okay. Me something like about maybe Jack the Ripper.
See, I've read a lot of stuff of that sort
Um,
before, you
and
know, because I'm
Lizzie
into
Borden.
psychology and stuff.
That was a couple of names that we.
Yeah, Lizzie Borden too.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes.
This
I was thinking like,
go go.
oh, I was thinking of Jeffrey Dahmer too,
Oh
something
yeah,
like that. And
yeah. This is literally just something that we thought of like literally like last night. So
I know, yeah, it's very fresh.
these were like just quick little things off the top of our heads. Then we were thinking of maybe doing a viewers pick.
Okay.
That's what I was thinking of,
So
and
have
then
everybody in chat do just pick four for us or whatnot.
yeah, yeah, something like that. Yeah. Like we could talk more about it, like um, figure out how we really want to do it, kind of thing. But there's
Yeah.
a thing. Then we were thinking about like booktubers. Like maybe like if you have a favorite booktuber, you can get maybe one of their books that they really liked or hated or whatever, and then like put it on the wheel or something like that, and it would be like
Yeah.
called
Yeah.
booktuber favorites or something like that.
Yes.
what about audiobooks? Those
Audiobooks, if you want, it could be on any form. I'm not
Yep.
judging. You could do audio, you can do Kindle, you can do whatever. If we could all get it, that's all that matters. That
Form.
yeah, any form, any form.
And
Um,
that's
yeah,
any
because
book too.
I think audiobook would be kind of cool too. Instead of like us reading, we can like talk about the person that read the book.
mhm,
How do we feel about like his delivery or whatnot?
yeah,
How did they make the whole scene feel and certain parts and their voiceovers and stuff like that.
right, right, exactly. Yeah, that's the. Then I'm not sure if you're on Goodreads. I'm not sure if you keep tabs on your books, but we were thinking of like Goodreads where because you could also have like books that you want to read and like maybe like we choose from one of their like you hit like
Ah,
you refresh your like books you want to read and the first one that is on the top, that's the book that you would pick for for the spin or
I like that
whatever.
idea.
You know, um, there's
Cause yeah,
that.
there's a booktuber that did that, right?
Yeah, she does it. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And then
So cool.
we were thinking, what do you think about erotic books?
Damn. Think about those a lot. No, 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 I'm cool. I'm okay with those two. I remember reading a lot of like this one guy. I can't remember what his name was, but yeah, it was very graphic. Super graphic, erotic, like Western type of book.
hmm
Oh, okay. I know they have
How
so many
they
different genres of it, right? Like
Yeah.
they can even have historical erotic.
well, this one was kind of like, I mean, weren't they going in like the red light districts a lot?
Yeah.
Oh.
See.
Yeah.
Well, that's what we were uh like thinking of maybe like you know not sure like when like I said these were literally things that we thought literally last night like
Yeah, super fresh
yeah,
ideas.
these were fresh. These were hadn't been like something that we've like were hashing out or
Yeah.
What about like mythology?
mythology. That's fine. Here, I'll even write it down
Yeah.
here. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, I love
That's great. That's
mythology.
great.
yeah, yeah. No,
Mythology's
like
that's one of my favorite. It's one of my favorite right there. Mythology.
yeah.
I love Norse. I love Norse stuff.
Oh,
Oh yeah, I
you
love
and
Norse stuff
Leonard will
too.
get to like each other. He likes the like whole
Oh,
like
nice.
yeah, 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 yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, so you have something there to talk about. For Halloween, I kind of would like some spooky books. So I don't know, like if you're like a seasonal reader or what. Some people are just
I used to be daily until I stopped reading, and this is probably like the first um fictional book that I've read, you know, in years actually.
oh.
Yeah, I basically watch do a lot of mythology, and I haven't read an actual fictional book in a few years. But on
Oh,
a regular basis, I read mythology and theology and
all
stuff like that.
all that good stuff.
Yeah.
Ah, okay, okay. So this time around, we will do um the books that's on the wheel this time around.
Okay.
I,
Okay.
and then and then you can let me know what book you want. Because I don't know if how you want to do it. Like, do you want to do like certain months? Like I'm just throwing this out.
Like
So don't,
fantasy month.
yeah, like say fantasy, like, oh, like August is an autobiography month and blah blah blah.
Oh,
Like
that's a great
I
idea.
I'm not saying
Yeah,
you
I
don't
think
have to,
that's great.
like, you don't have to do it, but I'm just saying, like, we can maybe discuss like something like that, like, oh, this is like a true crime month, or this
Yeah.
is like a horror month,
A
say like
horror.
October's horror month, right? Like, kind of
For
You know,
thing.
sure.
I think that's a better thing. You
You, you,
know,
you
I
like
mean, to
that
be
idea?
honest,
Well,
yeah,
no,
that idea.
Yeah.
because I want everybody to like enjoy the read. I don't want to like
Hmm.
seem like it's a chore of some
Yeah.
kind,
Yeah,
right? Like, and like I said, if you don't think you can read it because it just doesn't interest you, or like for me, I've read it and I don't like it, or I've just read it many, 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 many times. It could just say, okay, well, I'll just do from what I remember, kind of thing, right? Um,
Yeah.
so I'm gonna say this right now. Certain books that if you ever want to put on the thing, and I will not read. It will be on the list. It will be on there because that is something I think it's only fair. But these are the books that I will not read. You c At all. As you could tell, Romeo and Juliet,
I already know them.
50 Shades of Grey, Twilight, The Game of Thrones,
I read that whole series, by the way, Game of Thrones.
Feed. What
I
else
don't
did
know.
I?
I don't know.
Oh, the Mortal Instrument uh series, Lord of the Flies. Oh, and even though that they are good books, I
I heard
just
of that one.
Lord of the Flies is not that good, but I will not read Lord of the Rings again. Sorry, just not not gonna not
You could
gonna
just
happen.
watch the movie.
Yeah, basically, yeah. Those are probably
Yeah.
I think that's it, right? I think that's it.
I think that was it. Yeah.
Yeah,
Lord. Yep.
yeah,
You
yeah.
covered them all.
Those are the books that even if you put them on the wheel, I will put
Oh
them on
man,
the wheel. I will not read them.
now
Sorry.
that you said Lords of the Flies, I'm like, ooh, this looks pretty good to me. See, I like stuff like that. You know, I like reading books that talk about humanity and their different aspects of it. You know, and this one being a dark side of humanity, which I'm interested in.
I mean,
You know,
you are more than welcome to read it.
Yes,
I'll read it on my
that's
own.
the beauty of this.
Yeah, but those are. I'm just saying, if you really want it on the wheel, that's fine. I'll put it on the wheel, and if it's gets picked,
Yeah,
just
you
know
just think I'm read it.
I'm just I'm that one for me is a DNF. I will not read it again, but I am all here to listen to how you guys feel about it. Just saying that.
Yeah, that's cool. So nobody feels like you said, pressured or obligated, you know, to read something that is just not resonating with them well, you know,
Yeah,
or
yeah,
you know.
because
I
like
mean, that makes sense.
that's what I felt like because I was worried that you felt that you had to read it, like, that I'm like, I hope he's like not thinking that like he has to read it, like we are demanding him to
Okay,
read.
Candy, it's time to
I
report
mean,
on the book.
Yeah, yeah, like
I did
where's
my
your
best, teacher.
where's your like 500 word essay on it,
Ooh,
like.
forget it. I had to do an essay on the Shakespeare stuff. Oh my god,
Ugh.
it was so, Yeah, it was part of school. I
Yeah,
remember that. I did not enjoy that one bit.
yeah. Like, so I didn't want you to feel that you had to. Like, if you don't finish it, don't feel bad because I understand real life stuff. The book just didn't, you know, fit for you, whatever.
Yeah.
That's fine.
But but I do want to read it because there
Mm-hmm.
are more novels that she has, and
Mm-hmm.
from the the research on the author,
Mm-hmm.
there is more.
Yep.
There's more,
Yeah.
and this is the first book,
Yeah.
that they made.
Yeah,
So
this is like from this series. Yeah, I like I don't know every series that she has, but I know that this one. But like I said, these books from this series you can read in any order. Like it mentions
I
a
want to read
little
that.
bit, but like it's nothing like oh well
I love that. I
yeah,
love that
yeah
this
she
is
kept
no.
them self-contained
like you can
for the
read
most
them.
part.
Cause I
I want to
actually
read that Restoria one.
I read what is it? I think it was maybe Black Lotus or something. I can't
Oh,
remember.
okay.
But I read one of the books and I read it in a like totally like different order. Like I was like, "Oh." And then I found out that I actually read like, book whatever and I'm like, "Oh, okay." Oh, that's asleep. I want silence. Didn't realize
Some
I had
shout
sleep.
outs, Willow.
Huh?
You want me to do some shout outs or anything?
Yeah, you
Yeah.
could do shout outs. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Shout out Cecil McWoot.
What? Yeah, do shout
Let's see.
outs.
Just
Big
just over and over again.
Cecil. Oh snap! Owning. What's up, Owning?
Oh,
I forgot
Rampage
about.
is
I didn't
doing.
even notice. I was too busy talking, listening.
Yeah, like But yeah, like so, like don't ever feel like you have to read the book if it's not like, pardon me, like your cup of tea or whatever. Okay, like literally, you just could say, I DNF'd it. I'll be there. I'll talk about what I read and this is and why I DNF'd it, and that's that.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I don't want anybody to feel like you are um forced to read it because that's not what
That's
I
that's a good sign of a good
you know
reading group. You know.
yeah, like because
Yeah.
I totally understand like real life and stuff, but you could even ask Cecil. I was like, what happens if he feels like it's like forced? Maybe he doesn't want to do it anymore. What's
Yeah.
I'm like,
I
oh
was
my
like,
god,
no.
like like, oh my god, like yeah, I was
No,
feeling,
I just been kind of busy. You know, like.
yeah, but
Uh,
I was like feeling like kind of bad because I'm like, oh my god, what happens if he thinks like he has to read it? Like like you you cannot join this group if you don't read the books. Like no, that's not what this is
No.
about. This is about having fun, getting to maybe know another author or a different genre or
Yeah, this is a complete different genre from what I'm used to. So that's kind of one of the things that I was going into
mhm,
this whole thing expecting,
mhm,
you know.
mhm.
And I guess the more I continue to read this type of genre, it'll open my mind up a little bit more to being more receptive of it instead of just like, damn, this
Yeah.
dragging, man. Like, cause I thought to myself, yeah, this isn't my cup of tea,
Mhm.
but then I
And
was
there's
like,
nothing wrong with that.
I'm gonna still keep, reading a little bit because I am interested in getting a little bit better in reading different types of genres,
Mhm.
instead of just
Hmm.
being just like enclosed to one particular thing, just what I like, you know.
Yeah.
Dude, I remember the first time I read a science fiction book, I was like, oh, because I really wanted to.
Yeah.
And then I was like, oh God, what have I made a mistake? It's like, I just could not get into it. But then over time, I noticed into it more, and it just kind of you kind of get into the flow
Mhm.
more, and it depends on the author too.
Yeah, like I mean, like certain authors are just certain like not other people's like it just doesn't mesh.
Doesn't exactly doesn't resonate.
You know, you're just like, oh, okay, like
Exactly.
But I'm trying to open my mind up, you know, and not just be so close-minded in reading, you know. So
yeah, but it's hard.
it may take me a lot longer than normal,
Time.
but it's not gonna like deter me from doing this type of genre. In other
Yeah,
words, you know, it's
That's
just gonna take longer than
yeah,
I expected.
yeah. But like I said, like don't ever like if you are not feeling the book and you know you just don't want like you're like oh I can't this book the storyline to me sucks like whatever you know I don't like it I don't like the how the
Mhm.
authors write like
There
don't
is authors like that though, you know. I'm
yeah
not
like
gonna lie.
don't feel like we are gonna be or like I could speak for myself I shouldn't speak for Cecil but don't ever feel like you have
Man,
to
can you better read that book? No, I'm just
yeah
kidding.
like you know like that you are like you won't be welcome in any conversations or whatever no you will be more than welcome because to share to say oh well I didn't like it because of this or whatever that's what we want open I
Yeah, I'm
want
always open to give it a shot, you know, in other words.
yeah like I want like it to be an open conversation for everybody that well you know I really like this genre do you think maybe we can give it a try or you know
Yeah,
whatever right like
and it's good to hear people's different perspectives, because not everybody's gonna have the same opinion on everything, So
right
this
yeah
variety is the spice of life.
right
Yeah.
yeah like but I was starting to feel really bad like I was
Oh, I know
like
you were. I was
No, you
like,
shouldn't feel bad about that,
I
you
was
know.
like, oh my god, like what happens if like he really doesn't like it and he feels like it's like a school thing where like he has to read it? Like that's not what I want.
no.
Because I was just thinking like, oh my god, yeah. I was like, oh,
But
maybe.
no, to be fair, like I was saying, like it's been a few years that I've read any type of fiction.
Mm,
You know, I'm more into mythology, um, and
In nonfiction.
yeah, nonfiction. You know, psychological. You know, things of that sort. You know, like that's my cup of tea at this point. But I do remember when I used to read so many different types of books, and a lot of them were fantasy, but a lot of them were also like crime. You know, like a lot of the stuff that James Patterson does is stuff like that. You know,
mm, 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 mm.
so I've read a lot of his stuff.
Oh,
He
okay.
has some really
So
fast-paced books. Oh my goodness, his stuff
yeah,
is a trip.
the, that's the thing. You know, like this one's a slow one for me,
Mm.
but
Mhm.
but it, there are some detective books that are really quick. You
Oh,
know, and you're like, oh yeah, man, oh shit. Let me damn, what's going on? And then you stay up all night and you're trying to read, you know, you're trying to crack the case yourself. You're like, oh, okay. But it's easier too because it's, you know, we live in a modern society, you know, and going in back historically, you know, so many hundreds of years,
mm,
you
mm.
know, it takes a lot more effort,
Yeah.
especially with me because I'm real analytical and I like to like dissect everything.
We're gonna need like books for books that Candy has. It sounds like he's gonna be these very scientific books, and we'll be like, okay, wait, what
You're
was
gonna be like
that
DNF,
word?
DNF candy. Sorry about that.
Guys, I only read like 2 chapters. I don't know what I'm reading.
I get it.
You're like you've read chapter one like 5 times, and you're still lost, right? Like I read a book. I can't remember the name, but this book was supposed to be like a science fiction book, but very like scientific, like like quantum physics kind of shit.
Yeah.
And I was
Hard
Yeah, I
sci-fi.
love that stuff.
and I was like, what am I reading here? Like, oh my
Like,
god,
what the?
right? Because my friend had picked it and like it was his turn and I was like, okay, I have to give this and I was like so confused. But then the minute I thought of it like picture this as a game, like a WoW game. And then I
Yeah.
totally understood the whole concept. So I mentioned because
That's cool.
we had like a meeting about like the book, and I told him like, oh, I couldn't understand it until like I thought of it as a WoW game, and he's like, oh, well now I don't want to read it. I was like, wait, so because I understand what is being said and done, because that's how I'm looking at the like the story, you're not going to
Mhm.
read it?
That's messed up.
I
It's like,
was
wait, I
like,
understand it now. Come on, we can't stop now.
I finished it, but there was another book to it. I'm like, no, no, I'm not hurting my poor little like last two brain cells, that are on life
Oh,
support. But like, I literally would be reading, like rereading chapters because I was just like, wait, what's going on here? And then it was like how something was worded. I was like, that reminds me of a WoW thing, and I kind of like then kind of put everything like if into like a WoW, like an MMO, and I was just like, I understand what's going on. Okay, this is good. Like I'm fine.
that's so funny.
But it was funny because I said, oh, it reminds me of WoW. He's like, I don't want to read it anymore.
He's like, you tainted it for me, thanks.
You tainted this book for me. I do not like you anymore. I'm like, what? It's so rude.
Well, there is one book that I probably would change. Since now that we're open to the possibilities,
Open
and
your mind.
yeah, and it's one that I've had, but I haven't read it yet.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's like a mythology based book talking about different archetypes, of heroes and stuff
I
like
love
that.
that stuff. I love that stuff.
Yeah, and that's what interests me.
Mm.
So like that one, I could probably change one book. I would be able to change one book. I'd put it in there
Did
because
you
it's
want to
something.
change it now? Is that what you're asking?
Yeah, I could do that.
Okay,
Yeah,
can
sure.
you type out the name, cause and the author in
Let me
chat,
just do it in chat. Yeah.
and I'll be nice and I'll do
Yay,
the
nice.
yay. Willow's
Doing
being
you a
nice
huge
to me.
favor. Live book change hype.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Mhm. Oh, I hate this guy in the confusion. Maybe
What's his name?
Tina's.
Aramon or something?
Tina's. Why am I
I
saying?
hate him. I hate him. I hate it
There we
forever.
go.
I hate him. Why must you hurt me?
Oh man, they got these little gnats flying around, man. I don't know.
Okay, I'm gonna get. Really, dude? Really?
Huh,
Oh my
what? You
god.
don't like that?
No, I'm.
Oh. Like,
I'm
damn, sorry, Willow,
no,
damn.
no, I'm talking about this game. It's
Oh.
like.
You're like, you picked that book? What the hell
No,
is
no,
wrong
no,
with
no, no,
you?
no, no, no,
It's so funny.
no.
This book-
The timing was right. Like,
Yes, that was
oh.
perfect.
Yeah,
Okay.
I really dig this guy, man. Like, Joseph Campbell.
Oh, this looks
He's
cool, dude.
yeah, he's like he was one of the leading theological type of
Which book are you
people.
taking off, though?
I'll take off Dark Plages.
Okay.
Yeah.
The Legend of Dark Plagueis the Wise.
That one is a really good one. It's super good. But I'm a Star Wars freak, so I don't expect everyone to be as Star Wars freaky.
I was down.
Dang. I need to get one of these wheels.
That's a pretty wheel. Man, the wheel I use was so boring.
See,
Wheel of
even the book that I had chosen before, The Magician's Apprentice by Raymond Feist, it's a fantasy book, but that one was also a hard read for me.
Oh, really?
I didn't even finish it. Like I got like a few chapters in, and I had lost interest, but I put it on there because I want to go back to it now with a little bit more of an open mind and see if I can,
Oh,
you know,
okay.
yeah. So it's not
book
just
out of. Wow.
yeah, it's not just the genre of book. It's that throws me off. I guess it's the pace,
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay.
the pace in reading. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So okay, wait. Because Candy changed a book, Cecil, do you want to change a book?
is that Clive Baker?
Clive Barker, yeah.
Okay.
I was gonna say
Yeah.
that that's probably the most
Like-
difficult book on there is a Magica that I've chosen, but I think it's still doable if you use the video game thing, you know. Just think of it as a video game, it'll be
Yeah,
easy to
I've read
understand.
some Clive Baker. I have to remember what one I read though.
I don't think I would change any. Let me look at them one more time.
Okay. Okay.
Doo-doo-doo.
But this will probably be the last time that there's this many books. Probably. I think.
Right. Yeah. After this is
Yeah.
gonna be. Yeah. Yeah. I'm cool with mine.
You're cool? Everybody's okay
Yeah.
now? Okay. So like I said, HC, I did ask him for names of books and stuff like that, but I was not given. I was only given this Daniel O. Thunder like way back when. So this was the only one that he has on here, and I am sorry, but okay.
Yeah,
Ready?
Clive Baker's pretty cool. We got yes.
Yeah.
Clive
Okay.
Barker's awesome.
Well,
Okay, we gotta spin it.
I'm just saying that I did offer, and I even offered to remove my books from the thing. Okay, so
He's probably just been busy with life or whatnot.
yeah,
you know.
yeah, but I did put
Yeah,
it in there,
right.
so you know, it wasn't like it was a hidden thing. Okay, okay, here it goes. I don't know if there's sounds.
Fortune.
Timeline?
Michael Crichton.
I don't know whose pick is
Oh,
that.
one of mine.
Oh,
That's
it's one of
mine.
yours?
I like Michael Crichton.
Yep.
Oh, okay, okay. So let me just write this down, so I know what.
Woohoo! No.
Yeah, I think.
Have you ever read Prey?
No.
No, I haven't.
Oh my god, that's such a good one. Prey. Yeah. Michael Crichton. Oh yeah, that's a good one.
Okay. So do you all have the name down? So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So I am gonna remove it, but like I said, the I'll probably be nice. I don't know. We'll talk about it a bit more, but that is the book of the month. So I hope everybody. So
It's
and
a really
also.
easy, accessible book.
Yeah, and also I picked a kid's book. Unfortunately, it is gonna be a reread probably for a lot of people. Oh, pardon me. If you have children or if you just like it, I picked Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone or the Sorcerer's Stone, depending on where you are in the world. Um, but yeah, I am gonna be rating somebody, so please stick by. I would like to thank Candy for stopping by in chat. I really liked it. I appreciate
Yay,
it.
thanks.
Yeah. Cecil, of course, thank you so much once again for,
No
stopping
problem.
by and giving the shout outs and everything. We are going to, Contrary Motion is playing a retro game, Suikoden 3. So please
Oh,
stick back. Yeah, yeah. But wherever you are in the world, have a good day, good afternoon, good evening, and a good night, and later, taters.